Well, hey, thank you so much for bringing me to your home. It definitely looks a lot better than what you described over the phone. So now we're going to talk a little bit more about why I'm here,
Okay.
right? So from what I understand, Sri, we're considering making a move, right? There's still a lot of questions, a lot of moving parts
Mhm.
that are happening now. Excuse me. But I mean, let me ask you this, Sri, right? Like, what's the most concerning part about all of this process?
For me, to find the replacement property, so I just get concerned about like, we put this in the market, but, by the time if I don't able to find my replacement property, how's this gonna be, the process will be? It's a little bit overwhelming for me. If I end up buying this and if I don't get another place, that's where I'm stuck at. My thoughts keep going back to that.
Got it, got it. So just kind of from what I'm understanding is making the sales probably not going to be an issue, right? I think it's finding that replacement home and making it kind of work out where we do transition smoothly into the next home. That's kind of the bigger scare, if I may. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, fortunately for you, Shri, I do specialize in sell to buys, right? So there is a process that we go through. And as long as we're all on the same page, it usually happens pretty smoothly. But if for whatever reason we get any hiccups or bumps on the road, it's very easy for us to figure things out and make sure you still get into your next place very smoothly, which is it's what you're looking for, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to jump straight into my presentation, right? Feel free to stop me if you have any questions.
Okay.
But just kind of just to let you know who you've been speaking to, right? Do you have the Anyway, so a little bit about myself and my team, right? So my team's been doing this for over 20 years, right? Here on Zillow, right, you can see that we have over 500 five-star reviews, right? Not to impress you, Shri, it's just to impress upon you that we do this day and night, right? We've been doing this for a very long time. We have proven processes that work that net you the most amount of money possible for your property, and we're able to transition you very smoothly into your next property, right? So outside of really kind of smoothly transition to the next home, what else is very important to you? Is there anything else that is concerning or maybe something that you've been kind of pondering on?
It's just, right? Like, there are a lot of memories in this house. Suddenly to move out from here and get to another property is a difficult thing. It's okay. But that's a part of the life. You have to move on. And it's just that, Vega is so competitive, and the finding a replacement property is a lot of time, comes with a lot of factors, right? Like
Right,
the
right.
market shifts here very fast.
Mhm.
So it's just that, like, I want to net higher on this house so that that will help me to purchase a replacement property. That's one important thing, and I want you to be very transparent about the numbers. Like, I don't want you to just hide the numbers to get you the listing. I want you to be realistic so that I don't have any surprises when I'm buying my replacement property.
Got it, got it. So it sounds like just fully transparent, not overinflated numbers,
Yeah.
realistic expectations is what you're more
Mhm.
interested in, right? Which that's exactly what I provide, right? I would never overinflate a number for you just to earn the business. I prefer to be very transparent and let you decide if it makes sense or not, right? If it's not enough, right, and this is realistically what it's looking like, I can always do my best to bring that number as much as possible. But if it's unrealistic, I promise you, I would not even sign up to take on the project,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So, which is something that we are going to be sharing, right?
Mhm.
I did bring some material with me to kind of show you what homes have been selling for. To be very frank with you, I think our expectations are pretty much on the money, right? Again, I'll do my best to just keep bringing that number up as much as possible, but we're not really far off, right? Even at a bare minimum, it's still pretty realistic what you're needing to make the next move, right? Now, I'm gonna stray away from this a little bit and just let you know, selling the house is not going to be the issue, right? I think where we would want to be a lot more prepared is finding out what we would qualify for once we sell the home,
Mhm.
right? So I did bring some net sheets with me, but I think the next step, as long as everything here makes sense and we do decide to sell the property, is to talk with a lender, crunch some numbers, make sure that you guys are okay with what you see on that end when it comes to purchasing the next home,
Okay.
right? Because if these don't make sense, then there really is no reason to leave the home that you've been in for the last 20 years. We've had a lot of memories here, right? So I think that would be a very crucial step in our process, just to make sure that, like, okay, we're all on the same page. It does make sense. Let's make this big change. Would you agree?
I would love that actually.
Okay.
So it's to give me a bit of clarity, like you said, if the numbers doesn't make sense, it's ways to sell this property, right?
Yeah, I would say keep the home, right? If it truly doesn't make sense, because I don't want to have to put your home on the market, skip this step, get somebody else excited to buy your home, and then realize we can't sell this because what we want is not realistic for us.
Yeah.
Right? That would be very irresponsible of me as your agent, right?
Yes.
My job is to make sure that I lay everything down for you, Shri, and then you speak with your family, make sure everyone's on the same page. We make this big change, because it's going to be very nerve-wracking. I'm not going to lie to you, but my job, again, is to just make it as smooth as possible for you. Sound fair? Awesome. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about case studies, right? Kind of how our proven process works to make sure we do pump that dollar up as much as possible, right? We'll be talking about it. Basically, it's kind of our secret weapon. We will go over the market analysis. I did bring some information with myself to kind of show you what's been happening in your neighborhood, what the trend is looking like, how our commissions are handled, right? There is no one size fits all, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And then just kind of figuring out what the right service plan for you is. Once we figure that out, I think it'll be a lot easier to make that decision. And, if we talk to any other decision makers that aren't here now, we can always have this conversation again, another time.
Okay.
I know we spoke on the phone a little bit, right? But realistically, what do you see this timeline looking like for you and your family to make this big transition?
I was told that you'll get banned for work on it usually in summer, because a lot of sellers, buyers enter the market. But again, in my case, it's like a tricky thing, right? Like,
right.
I'm selling, and again, I'm buying. It applies for me also. So I'll be selling this for a top dollar, but again, I might be paying more for my replacement also. So I think summer would be a good time, but that's my opinion. I want to listen from the expert.
Yeah, no, sure. I mean, it's definitely an option, right? It's whenever the time is right for you. I can tell you that I have not just sold in the summer. I've sold homes throughout the whole year, right? And there's always ways to navigate the market in the slow season, in the fast season. We always find ways to still make it happen for you. So if that's the case, right, then, outside of just the market trend, is there anything else really pushing you to wait until summertime?
No, actually, I just need another month to wrap up the things here.
Okay, so about an extra 30 days.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll also be talking about a risk-free selling guarantee, right? I don't want you to feel like you're tied to me, right? Even if we have an agreement and things just don't happen to work out, there's always going to be an easy out. I promise I won't get offended if you fire me, right? It is the business.
Yeah.
I've earned business, right? I've made mistakes and lost business. I am human, but most often than not, I mean, the 5-star reviews do talk for themselves, right? So I promise you're in good hands. I don't know what starting the process is. What is that part? Is it just jumping into it, or?
Just scroll down. Use it. Scroll down.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So past this. So yeah, you already know a little bit about myself, right? We don't have to do that part. So kind of what I understand right now is, we definitely want to make this transition as smooth as possible. We're possibly shooting for summer, but if we can make it happen sooner and it makes sense, that's kind of, we can do it a lot sooner, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm open to that.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Past this. So Shri, when it comes to selling your home, there's a lot of factors that come into play when, we definitely want to make the most out of it, right? My job is to squeeze as much juice out of that lemon as possible to make sure we do get you the most, transition into your next home, right? So a lot of it comes down to condition of property, the initial listing price, the marketing of the property, and negotiating the offer, right? So the condition of the property is very important. Bay Area home buyers, we're very spoiled, right? We want something that's move-in ready. Here and there, you will get your families that are just like, I'll get a fixer-upper, I'll take care of it myself, or it just needs a little bit of work, right? Just from my experience, those don't always sell for as much as possible. Sometimes it gets negotiated down, right? Something that does make sense. So in order for us to really do everything we can, we have to have a amazing product to sell, right? So the condition is very, very important, right? Your home is beautiful. I really don't think it needs a lot of work. But once we do cross that bridge, we'll see if there's anything we can do just to kind of spice it up to just make it even more attractive if we have to go that route, right? The initial listing price as well. How do you feel about what you would want to list the property for? Would you say you want to just list it at the top that it could possibly go, or lower or kind of middle? Where are you in the sense of the actual listing price?
I don't know. I was just researching in Zillow and all. It's Zillow estimate shows my property is worth around 1.5.
Mhm.
But yeah, I see most of the times in Bay Area they list it for a price, and obviously the expectations are very high. And I think you are the expert to
Yeah.
So it's your call, but yeah, the property value it's showing in Zillow is around 1.5.
Okay. And is that something that you would want to list the property at?
I don't care actually. I want the highest top dollar for my property. I don't care what you list for.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't care like you use any strategies to get the top dollar, like listing it low to get the more attention or whatever you want to do. But
Okay.
I'm just interested in getting me a top dollar. That's all. I don't care what you list.
Okay. So a little bit about the initial listing price, right? The way I see the listing price is just kind of like a like a flash number, right? So just like you are looking at the sales price when your house goes up on the market, so is the buyer, right? And what they're doing is they're comparing this list price to everything else that's on the market, and they're kind of analyzing, okay, is this overpriced or is this underpriced? Shree's house is beautiful. It's listed below this one that needs a little bit of work. Maybe we can go here, right? So again, it's not always going to be the end all be all, but it's just kind of a number that we do put out there. Obviously, we'll make it as close to recent sales as possible. We don't want to undersell it. We don't want to over list as well. We want to find that sweet spot that'll kind of bring in a lot of foot traffic to your home, right? My job is to not just fish for one or two buyers, right? I want to cast a whole net and see what I can bring in, because that'll transition into the next part, right? Which is negotiating.
Yeah.
So the initial listing price is very important. There are some here where the price was pretty realistic and it sold over, and there are some here that they kind of overshot and they had to bring back down, right? So I don't want to make you stay on the market longer than you have to, and the price is a pretty big indicator as to what that may look like, right? Outside of that, we have to have marketing, right? It sometimes is enough to just put a for sale sign in front of the home and let it do its thing, but that's not really me doing everything that I possibly can.
Okay.
So we do pump a lot of money into marketing, because again, we want to get as much foot traffic into your home, as many people as I possibly can get to look at the property, and that then will start bringing up more offers, right? So price, marketing brings us as many people as we possibly can, which entails into the negotiation part, right? I can't be a good negotiator for you if I have no buyers inside your home that want to buy it, right? So listing price, marketing is probably everything that we can do to get all the offers possible. And then I'm able to pump that number up as much as possible, depending on what it's looking like, right? Is there any questions about this
No,
part
I got
here?
it. I got it.
It makes sense?
To just entice it more, like you're gonna list it for a very flashy price, like where you want to get more.
So the price will be something that we both agree on,
Okay.
right? But once it comes time, right, to really list the property, we'll have another conversation and say, okay, this is what the market trend is looking like.
Okay.
Are we okay with this price? And
Okay.
something we will put together,
Sure.
right? So no question on this
No,
part
no
here?
questions.
Okay, understood. So what does this mean for your net profit, right? So the home preparation typically brings up your net profit about 5 to 8% more. The strategic marketing does another 5 to 8%. The pricing strategy does another 5 to 10%. and then the expert negotiation skills does about 3 to 5% more, right? So everything put together makes it a lot easier for us to really bring that number up. If we're missing one, like let's say, hey, I don't want to stage my house, I want to save money on staging. Well, now we're removing about 5 to 8%, right? Or even the marketing. I don't want to do marketing. Let's go a little bit less, right? It makes it harder for us to really make it happen. Not to say that I won't try, because I will still do my best to bring it up. But with all of this in line, it just makes it easier for me to have a reason to really negotiate that dollar amount up for you.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So this could actually mean anywhere between 18 to 30% more in your pocket than just putting a for sale sign and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
Right. At that point, I mean, you can sell it yourself. You're not going to hire me for that.
I don't know.
So, Shri, any questions on this part here?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So how do we execute this? Right. It's a pretty big question. So we work on upgrades and repairs if we have to on the home. And then, once we, solidify a relationship, then I can bring in my team, kind of seeing what we can do to kind of beef it up a little bit more if we have to, and make any recommendations that you would, be okay with. At the end of the day, you're going to sign off on everything. If you're not okay with it, don't worry, it doesn't have to happen. But we'll just bring someone out here to really make sure, okay, we looked at the property. They're the experts. They know what's really selling. They know what's really trending today that'll attract more buyers, right? So again, we're trying to get as much foot traffic as possible. So yeah, we'll do the recommendations. We'll do the repair completion and project management, right? It's kind of a hands-free. You don't really have to do much. I'm just letting hey, Shri, this is what we're doing now. Is it okay with you? Yes. Okay. Perfect. If not, okay, how can we rearrange it? No big deal, right? We're also going to include property termite inspections. I'll be taking care of this from my own pocket, right? Any interior design property staging will also be taken care of. And then repair costs are paid at closing, right? So basically, I'll be paying the contractor whoever does the work right now. And then at the end of the day, when you do close your property, you get your net, then we'll just go ahead and pay that at close of escrow, right?
Okay.
So any questions on this part?
I'm good. I think mostly looking at my property, I don't need money repairs is what I'm just thinking of. So yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
I think looking at this, like anyways, when we get to there, we'll talk about that. Looking at, as of my knowledge, there are not any major problems.
I mean, it's a beautiful home. I really don't think this would really be required, right? These are more for homes that are a little bit more original, right? I do see that you have done some work to it. So this is probably something we may not have to do, but we're still going to be doing the property and termite inspections, right? And I'll take care of that. Don't worry about that. I just want to make sure that if there are any repairs that need to get done inside the walls, we take care of it then and there. That way the buyer doesn't have any reason to negotiate with us down the line.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Sounds good. Strategic marketing, right? You can have a beautiful home, but if nobody knows about it, then what's the point, right? So we're gonna have high-end photography, cinematic video tours, right? We'll do social media campaigns, custom property website. I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. High quality brochures, a mega open house. We're gonna do a wine and cheese event, broker tours, basically just do everything I possibly can to, again, bring more foot traffic into your home, right? Get more eyes on your property and then drum up some business that way for you.
Okay.
Step number 3, pricing strategy, right? We're going to do an in-depth review of a local trend. Today it looks like this, but once we're finished with everything, it may look a little different. So we'll dive really deep into that and we'll come up with a very strategic price to make sure we do list the property accordingly.
Okay.
We'll dialogue so I'll be talking to the listing agents that do have properties. Maybe they're pending, right? Maybe they're coming soon. And I'll be reaching out to everyone and basically kind of finding out what it's going to look like in the future, right? Because we can have the statistics from what just happened, but the unknown is like a pending home, active contingent, things like that, that will give me an idea of more or less where the market is headed.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, recently I think a property was sold in the next block. It just went pending in like 2 weeks, I think. Like they did just 2 open houses in weekends. I went to the property, actually, it was not that great. My property looks much better than that, and it went over asking price is what listing agent is telling me. They got a very good response and all the stuff.
Yeah, so I did talk to the agent. I know what you're talking about the one down the street. So they're not giving me info yet, but they said once we get closer to closing, they can let me know what that number went for, and that'll determine kind of where we're going to be dropping our price at.
Cool.
Okay.
Why these people don't reveal the numbers till it gets closing?
Because I mean, they don't want to give up the car drive. Sometimes the sellers request for them not to share any information, right? And it's also best, like if someone asks me, "Hey, what did you sell Shree's house for?" You probably wouldn't want me to tell them, because in case for whatever reason it doesn't sell, someone already knows it gives, you know, it's better just to protect all the numbers, right? Until after it's fully sold, then it becomes public record and they could, you know, find out that.
Yeah, I understand. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Till the deal is closed, don't want to put out the number. Got it.
Yeah. So again, once we have all this done, right, we'll get our offers in, right, and then I'll start negotiating with everyone. Well, depending on what we get, if we get a lot of phone calls, a lot of people asking to do preemptive offers, we could most likely be setting a offer due date, right? Make sure everyone just puts their offer certain day, certain time. We'll review everything together, and then we'll see what we can work with, and then take it from there.
Sure.
I don't expect this with your property, but if for whatever reason we don't really get any calls, we don't get any offers, then we can kind of talk about the next steps, right? Again, you're in a very lucrative area, right? Schools are amazing. You have an amazing home. I don't see this happening, but just in case we do go into overdrive,
Okay.
then we can strategize as to how we're still going to make this happen for you.
Got it.
Okay.
Hope we don't get there.
No, I mean, you know, with the comps here, everything is about 12 to 15 days on market average, right? And a lot of these are selling for above, with the exception of the one that was overpriced and to go a little bit down. So good position to be in for you. Outside of that, you know, we will be vetting all the agents and the buyers, right? Because you know, there's offers that come in pretty high, but it just looks like they may be overstretched, right? And it may not be realistic. So we're going to be vetting all the buyers, what their down payments look like. We're going to be talking to the lenders and the agents, right? Because I also want to make sure that I am working with someone who knows what they're doing. That way there are no hiccups down the line, right? Which it is a possibility, but that's something that I will be focusing on. That way I can get you the best offer possible without the minimal risk of having to fall out or having major hiccups. Okay. Obviously, you're going to just push to negotiate for the highest price possible as well.
Sure.
So we do have a secret weapon tree, right? So we are partnered up with Zillow. We don't work for Zillow, but Zillow has vetted us, and they decided they want to work with us to basically promote homes better on the market, right? So we do have a program called Showcase Listings. Right. Basically, it's a highlight. It basically puts your house at the very top. Whenever someone's looking for a property in your zip code, your type of home, it brings this one to the very top. Right. And so these have a 81. They have a 81% chance. Actually, I've never done this part.
It's just
Showcase listings receive. So you get 81% more views.
Yeah.
Compared to the average home that isn't on Showcase, right?
I saw it actually recently in Zillow. Some houses are like showing with some sparks and the stuff, like they stand out. I have seen these days in the Zillow app actually. Yeah. It looks nice. Like it stands out. Your property there stands out. I was actually checking the photos and all looks much better.
Yeah, so they also beef up the photos, right? And it's pretty proven, right? They did research on this. It sells for 2% more than the average home when it's on Showcase as well. So when you're working with us, we do provide this, right? Just gives you a higher chance to really make more money on the property.
Got it. Okay.
So we do have a couple of case studies, right? So we have this one on Gerdell Place, right? We listed it for 1.2. Obviously, we did a lot of work to this one, made it as pretty as possible, right? Worked on the marketing, everything. We're able to sell it for $1,330,000, right? Sold in 1 week, over 10 offers, right? This one had a full home preparation, no out-of-pocket expenses. It was vacant and staged. We had a good pricing strategy. We did set an offer due date. We sent out multiple counter offers, and the offers that did come in were non-contingent, meaning there is no, I want to buy your house only if I know what's wrong with the property, only if it appraises, only if I get the loan. They were already set and committed to buying it, which means it didn't have any contingencies.
Okay, okay.
We have this one as well on 835 Upton Way, right? We listed it for 1,550,000. We sold it for 1,650,000, right?
Okay.
Over $100,000 above the asking price. We sold it in 2 weeks, over 10 offers received. Another one here, 699 Swallow Drive. We listed it for $1 million and we sold it for 1.3. High sale in the neighborhood, right? Which speaks volumes. Sold it in 1 week. We received over 30 offers on the property. And you kind of see how it looks here, right?
It's your mind.
So actually my best friend Robert's listing. This guy's great.
I have a question there.
Sure.
I feel whenever you do these case studies, sometimes to just get an idea for the buyers like us, you need to add a case study of you listed for 1.4 or something and you sold it for 1.3 also, so that we come to know why that has sold for less.
Oh, so you're asking us to do case studies as to why a house would sell for less.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So
now you're only showing me you have sold, which is all the highest top dollar, right? In some, like you said sometimes even the market shift and some shit happens in life. That time we might have to, if I in a rush to go to my replacement property, I don't want to wait for forever, right? So yeah, sometimes then we might not, if it's sitting on the market, people might, send the lower offers also.
So you're saying if your property sits on the market, so my job is to make sure that it doesn't sit on the market, right? If it's sitting on the market, it's probably because we missed some of these steps, right? Or we didn't do everything. So honestly, this is why we do prep the seller, right? Because if I'm working with someone that says, well, I don't want to do the staging, I don't want to do photography, I want to pay as little as possible, right? Then it's probably something that I don't want to list myself, right? Because it's my reputation on the line. And I mean, I don't think my team has case studies as to selling for less, but if for whatever reason I do find something, I can see and find out. I'll give you a personal call and say, hey, look, this is what happened. Because it is a possibility, right? But
I just want to know the reasons, that's all. Why?
So I mean, it could be marketing, it could be staging, it could be inflation of the price, right? Because there are some properties, but if you look at those, you kind of see, maybe the photo quality is a little bit lower. Maybe they never did an open house, right? There's multiple reasons why it probably wouldn't sell.
Okay, got it.
Okay, good question though.
It's there's both sides to the coin,
Right.
That's why I want to see the negative side also.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's something like, I can always call and find out for you to see, but I mean, for you, I really wouldn't worry about it because you're on this side of the coin. So this part, we're gonna just talk about, come down to the market, see how your home compares, and then just kind of get it active soon, things like that. How commissions are handled, right? You understand that the UNER rules were changed. So before, it wasn't customary. So now they basically, they're asking you to help pay for that commission, saying they're charging their buyer that commission, right? So it's not mandatory. You don't have to pay a commission if you don't want to. It's basically case by case. Sometimes the buyers pay their agents. Sometimes the agents pay for or ask for the seller to pay for that commission. Right. So it's something that you and I can talk about once we move into the next step, how we're going to work it out. For the most part, it's just, it's just how it used to be before the rules changed. Sellers would usually, pay that commission and just get everything moving forward.
Okay. Got it.
Any questions on that part?
You mean to say nothing has changed, it's just the process has changed, but most of the sellers in the market are paying is what you're saying, right?
It's just now we have to have some type of on paper agreement when we're representing buyers, excuse me, when we're representing buyers to say that we're working with them, this is what we're charging, and the buyer is responsible to pay for that, right? And then as a buyer's agent, it's the agent's job to negotiate with the seller to cover that commission. And if it doesn't happen, then they can go back and talk to the buyer. But just because just so there is no confusion, it's always going to be on paper, right?
Okay.
So we know what's happening.
Got it. Okay.
So now we're going to talk about commissions, Sri, the fun part, right? So we do have options, right?
Okay.
You don't, there's again, like there is no one size fits all, right? So we do have a silver, a gold, and a platinum option, right? The platinum option is definitely all the works. It's basically like the white glove service, hands-free. We take care of everything. And this typically nets us the most amount of money possible,
Okay.
right? But we can also do a gold, right? It's basically the silver and then a little bit more options included. Or if we really want to save money on the commission, right, then we go straight to silver. My job, even if you go with silver, is to still drive that dollar amount as high as possible.
Okay.
But with the platinum package, it just makes it easier and it gives us more reason to have that number get pushed up.
Oh, got it.
It allows us to justify it, in other words.
Got it.
So this is, I mean, you know, if you had to choose now, Sri, right, what do you think would best suit your situation, given, you know, the condition of the home, condition of the market, and how you're really feeling?
I feel, yeah, gold is a good option for me because I don't have much work to do in this property. And mostly, you know, by the time we want you to list it, if any small things are there, I can get it done. That's not an issue.
Okay.
I'm aware of those small issues like plumbing or electrical or some stuff.
Okay.
I think we are good. We are good to go with the gold, but do we have any wiggle room on those percentages?
On the percentages, so I do have to talk to my manager about that, right? But what did you have in mind?
How about we go for the gold with the silver percentage?
Gold for silver. So you want the gold package for 2.5%? It's a good question. Now, let me ask you this, Sri. Outside of the commission, is there anything else holding you back from really taking the next steps into getting the ball rolling?
Not much. In 1 month, I'm actually sure I'm ready. I think I have to come into market. And you explained everything, all the aspects. You know, it's now I got an idea as well. It's just you know, I have spoken with someone before you, and they were actually not including the Zillow seller showcase. Apart from that, they were including everything for 2.5%.
For 2.5%. Okay. So I'll tell you what I can do, Sri, right? Because I definitely want to earn your business, right? I'm gonna go ahead and just accept the 2.5%, and I'm gonna run it by my manager.
Okay.
If they give me the green light, then we're set to go. If not, then I can just rip up this agreement now, and then we can part ways if that's what really happens. Is that something you'd be okay with?
I'd be okay with that, but it's a lot of information, and I have someone else coming in, you know, tomorrow. Just give me till the time this weekend. I can call you back on next week, and we can go take it from there.
So you're interviewing other agents, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Now, are these other agents also offering this and kind of breaking things down for you?
That's what they said. Tomorrow they're gonna come with their presentation, and they wanna, because this agent was referred by my friend who had recently sold their property. So he was like, you know, referred me that he's very good and all. So I asked him to come tomorrow.
Okay. Well, honestly, Sri, because it is a big decision, right? I would be doing the same thing if I was you, is interviewing a lot of agents.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're not going to commit to anything as of now. Is that kind of correct?
Yeah. Thank you for coming out and giving me a lot of insights about how you're gonna do the you know, the marketing and all the stuff. I've come to know a lot of you know, insights from your presentation. Yeah, I wanna, after talking with this agent tomorrow, I think I might gonna sleep over on it on the weekend, and you know, I'll let you know next week mostly.
Okay. Sounds good. I can definitely respect that, Sri. right? Definitely want to weigh out your options. So just kind of from what I'm hearing, it sounds like you definitely want to work with somebody that you do trust that is going to be doing the right thing for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Sri. Did you find any value in everything I presented for you today?
Yeah. The other agent, like whom I spoke with, never had like laid out all the steps for me. How
Okay.
they're gonna do everything. He just said like they have sold these many properties and all the stuff, but what they're gonna do to sell that many properties, they never explained it to me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got
In
it.
your case, it's much elaborative, and I know the process, like how you're gonna do this also.
Okay.
I don't know the process, but now I know even the process as well.
Okay.
That's what I got a lot of value from this presentation.
Okay. Well, I mean, it definitely sounds like I did do my job, right? It sounds like there are no other questions to be asked. So, excuse me, why don't we just do this, Sri, right? Since I'm already here, how about we get this signed at 2.5%? If you find out that your other agent does a lot better job than me, you can always give me a call and cancel it. But how about we sign this and then I leave it here with you?
Okay.
And again, if you find a better option, go ahead and rip it up yourself. But if not, then I can get the process started and get going with my team, make sure we get you moved into your next home, because that's what you're looking for, right?
Yeah. I know. I actually I'm ready to sign. It's just that I want to discuss with my wife also once about these things.
Okay.
Tomorrow we already have a appointment confirmed with this other agent. So if you want, you can leave all the stuff here. I don't want to sign it, but I want to keep your listing agreement, everything here.
Okay.
But sure, I'm gonna get back to you for sure and give you my answer by Monday for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Now you mentioned one thing, Sri, you wanted to discuss with your wife. What about all of this did you have in mind to discuss?
It's just that sometimes we take collective deliberation into our culture. It's just that otherwise, the vibes, right?
No, I completely get it. I completely get it, Sri. So, okay, tell you what, I'll leave this here with you, right? What time should we reconnect again on Monday?
11 a.m. sounds good.
11 a.m.?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can give you a call at 11 a.m. and then if everything makes sense, we're ready to get the ball rolling then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sounds good, Sri. Okay, so
Let's wrap up right there.
cool, that's it.
All right.
Shit, Thank you, bro.
You're on the spot. You're on the spot right there.
That's good. That was pretty realistic.
Let's evaluate this, guys. Let's evaluate this. So we got Mauri right here. Just first off, Mauri, hats off to you, bro. I know I put you on the spot. I gave you like a 30-minute notice before the meeting saying, hey, hey, you got to get in here and come do your presentation. But hey, that's the way it goes sometimes, guys. Sometimes we get a hot opportunity and we got to be out there. We got to get out to the house in an hour or so, right? 30 minutes or so. And next thing you know, we're on the listing appointment, right? So good job at just stepping up to the plate, because I think there's a lot of things you did great. Honestly, I was taking some notes, and then there was definitely some things that I think would help you improve your closing ability.
Okay.
And so we'll kind of go over those right now. So from you guys here watching, anybody also in the audience, feel free to chime in. And we're going to kind of just go through, let me see here, close picture. Let's go. We're going to score him. Rapport and trust building on a scale of 1 to 4, 1 being below average, 2 being okay, 3 being good, 4 being like, wow, excellent. What do we give Mauri on rapport and trust building? Did he ask the right questions? Did he understand the needs and concerns? Did he make a connection with them? Do you feel like there was some trust and rapport built between him and the client? What do you guys say?
For me, the trust building is amazing. The Mauri is natural, right? Like the way he talk and everything. It's really like I really like it. I learned a lot from him. The way he approaches the client and the way that tonality, and you feel like you want to listen to this guy.
Yeah.
So the trust building is amazing. Rapport is also very good, but I think the one thing what I was missing was he didn't ask me why you're making this move actually. Like what's the point of your leaving this house and why you want to buy another property?
Yeah.
That's one thing I think he missed. But apart from that, trust building was amazing. I seriously like the way he approaches the client with a cool attitude.
Yeah, I wrote
That
smooth. That's what I wrote,
That was
smooth.
smooth, and that's like he kills it.
Yeah,
People really want to talk with you because of that.
yeah, I agree. What about you, Rob?
I think so too. I think I liked the speed that it was going in the beginning, really slow. I agree. I think your words didn't stumble too much in the beginning. You were good. And I think the line of questioning of how you questioned was good.
Yeah,
Right on.
yeah, I agree. I would say I'd give him a solid 3.5. Just because he was really smooth with it. He made you feel comfortable, right? He didn't seem overly aggressive. And so I did think that he presented himself as a trustworthy type of person, right? I felt like the genuineness from him, but I do agree with Shri that he could have took that to the next level if he would have just went a little bit deeper with understanding why you were selling, what's important to you. And what I want to point out that's really helpful, guys, is this is what we told Rob last week, is just follow the presentation, right? Because when you follow, a lot of times we're trying to freestyle this and it could be a lot. And sometimes you just get in the zone of just talking and you forget to hit certain points, right? So if you would have pulled up the presentation, if you look right here and just went down the area, because you opened up the conversation with just without even going to the slides. You were just talking to him, right?
I can see the effect.
Right? Versus you just saying like, hey, we're going to go ahead and get started with the presentation. Our presentation, selling your home for more. Here's what I'm going to cover, right? Boom, 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 boom. Here's a little bit about me. And then what I really want to do is just unpack your needs, right? Because then you would have landed on this slide. And this slide, if you just asked those questions, it would have naturally peeled the onion back several layers deep, which would have took you from a 3.5 to a 4.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So by you just
Perfect.
staying on track, it's designed so that you don't miss a step, right?
Okay.
So I would just encourage you to do that, right?
Okay.
Because then you would have got to like what matters most, and that's the really good question right there. Is why is it important for you? And this, what's important for you? What do you expect from your agent? How can I make this easier? Why are you moving? Why not keep the property? Right? Like there could have been other questions that are already here that would have made that even better. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Confidence and understanding of the material. Did Mauri have confidence, and did he understand the material, the presentation? What do you guys say? Scale of 1 to 4.
I say a 4.
I would say 4. He really nailed it, and the way he does it also is very natural.
Mhm.
That he's not just following the script.
Yeah.
The way like who have experience of doing this stuff about all the material and the process. And yeah, in my opinion, it's 4.
Okay. So was he just reading or presenting confidently? What do you guys
He's
think?
presenting very confidently.
Okay. Anybody else? I'm gonna give you 3.5 on that one, bro. Just because the 4 means like you knew this off the back of your hand.
Yeah.
That's a 4, right? Like I could tell you like memorize this, but there was a couple times where you're like, oh, what is this one?
No,
Right?
yeah, so I know like for me, I would give myself like a 2 because I really
Like the Zillow part, like you didn't really know that part, right? And you kind of like fumbled it a little
Yeah.
bit.
No, I
Which is we're grading you, right? So
Yeah,
I
it's
got to
fine,
give you
it's
an
fine.
honest grade.
I'm
You skipping through some of the slides and not like it wasn't all of them, because there was a lot of them where you stuck to the slides and you like nailed it, but it wasn't. I think you have a little bit of improvement there, right?
I think I need to familiarize myself with the actual presentation to know like the back of my hand.
Exactly. Just in case,
I
like
do have improvement to do, which I agree.
for example, like let's say you went there and for some reason your computer died, right? But like you already have this memorized where you just kind of know what questions to ask, right? And so I think there's another level that you could take it, which will lead to you being more confident when you do say the words, right? And so, but 3.5 is still a solid score. The Zillow part, especially, I think since that's new for us, you need to spend some time going on the Zillow, clicking on the video, watching it, and then learning how to articulate it in your own words. All right. Tonality and delivery. Was the delivery fun and engaging? Was the agent's personality shown? 1 to 4. Tone and delivery.
For me, 4.
4?
I like the tonality very much.
Yeah.
That's how I like to
Yeah.
speak to the people, and he really puts you in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So for me, it's 4.
I would say 4 too.
4. What do you guys think, guys? Tonality and delivery. Like, how was his tone? I think you guys said 4. They said 4. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give you like a 3.9 on that one. I think you're definitely your tone. I think that's one of your strong points, especially like you mirrored him since he's kind of Shree's kind of real chill. You were kind of chill with him, right? You weren't like overpowering him or anything. I wrote good tonality, smooth, but what I wrote is I think at certain points you could like turn it up a little bit just to drive like a point home, right? So if there's certain things you want to emphasize, that's where I think you can like put a little energy on that part, and then you can go back to it's called dynamics, right?
Yeah.
Where you can go up and down,
Okay.
right? So especially when you're like trying to reinforce like he said that he wants to make sure he sold and found this replacement property. So that's the other thing too, is we didn't really cover finding the replacement property. We kind of said like, well, we kind of covered it surface level, but I don't think you went deep on like this. These are some of the strategies to sell and buy, or these are some of the things that we can use.
So I think like that sell to buy contingency and all the stuff, like sometimes you can do that, like, till you find the replacement property, you can ask the rent back and all the stuff you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did miss that.
So let me give you guys a strategy, right? Because I think last time he went with Rob kind of missed that too. He kind of said, well, we'll get to that later, right? So here's a strategy. Before you start the presentation, so I'll go to page 1. You started off right where you're like, hey, is our what I would say is this: hey, Shree, thanks for allowing me to be here. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my presentation. Like, thanks for showing me around. Before I get started, are there any things that are really important to you that you want to make sure I cover, so I can emphasize those a little bit more and get into more detail on those? So what I'm doing is I'm asking him to tell me what I should focus on, right? Because then when I go through my presentation, I can spend more time on certain areas and I can go a little faster through other areas. So when you lay it out like that, is there, I wouldn't say, are there any concerns that you have? Because remember, your words are important.
Yeah.
I would say, is there anything that's really important to you that you want to make sure I cover? Right? You see how the concern is like negative, like I'm afraid, versus is there anything really important that's more of a positive, right? We're going to focus on what's important to you. So I think that's a really good trick, is just, hey, before I get started, right, I want to make sure this is, valuable to you. Is there anything that's really important to you that you want to make sure I address in my presentation? And then he would say, yes, the sell to buy, right? So here's the thing. Whatever he tells you is important, address it right there on the spot.
Mhm.
The only 2 things you don't address on the spot are what? Commission,
And
Sales price?
sales price. Commission and sales price. Why don't you want to address those right there on the spot?
that's gonna put them off anyway. So
I feel like once they hear that, they're like tuned out to everything
yeah,
else.
exactly.
Because those are 2 things that can disqualify you, right? If you're barely getting started with the presentation and they say, well, what's your commission? And then you start throwing numbers. If they don't like that commission, they're not going to listen to the rest of your presentation. So those are 2 questions that you want to deflect until you get there. But anything else that says like any like sell to buy, address it right there on the spot. So I would say, okay, we'll role play the Shree. Shree, is there anything that's really important to you? Want to make sure I cover my presentation?
Yeah, that's for me, that's the process, right? Like to sell this and go to a new property. I just want to be more smooth transition. You can help me, and if you help me in a better way, that would be really great.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is navigating the process of selling and buying, right? And like how to make those happen smoothly.
Yeah.
That's important to you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to make sure I cover?
It's just that I don't want to end homeless.
Okay.
So you just lay out the options for me.
Okay.
How best we can do this transition.
Okay, great. So it sounds what I'm hearing like what's really important is how we're going to navigate the sell and the buy and make sure you're not ending up homeless, right? That's probably one of the most important things out of all of this, right? Okay, great. So look, let's just cover that right now, right? But this is the way that you can sell and buy. There's a few different ways to go about it, right? The one option is we get your home sold, we get the money, and we could either try to negotiate for you to stay in the property for a rent back, or if you have somewhere you can move out to temporarily, right? Then you can move there temporarily, Airbnb, stay with family, stuff like that. This way we get the home sold. Now we have the money. Now we can go look for our next property. Okay. That's one way we do it.
Okay.
The other way that we do it is we can go find the property and we can make an offer on that one and make it contingent on the sale, meaning that this offer is only good if my house sells. Now, in a competitive market like the Bay Area, it's hard to do that sometimes because if they get another offer that doesn't have a property to sell, you're at a disadvantage, right? You see, so sometimes that works if the house we're looking for has maybe been sitting on the market, but most nice homes in our area, they're moving fast, right? And so there's also a third option, what we call a bridge loan, right? Where we can try to get financing for the new property, even though you haven't sold your home yet. So that allows us to secure the new property, right? And then now we can take our time selling this home. There are some costs associated with that, but it's an option. So there's kind of three different options, right? In our market, because you're in the Silicon Valley, I think the two options that are probably the best for you is going to be, we get this, you find somewhere that you could stay temporarily, or we sell this home and we get you a rent back, right? So you're not homeless, or we try to do a bridge loan. I would probably shy against a contingent offer, because it's too competitive and it's going to be a hard time getting your offer accepted. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I never knew about these, options.
Okay, great. So we'll figure that out with you, right? I don't expect you to know everything right now, but I just want you to know we have three different options for you, and I'll make sure you're not homeless, right?
Thank you.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and go into my presentation now. All right, stop. So you see what I did there?
Yeah.
Is I immediately gave him exactly what he wanted. So now, is he listening to me now through the rest of the presentation?
Yeah. Yes.
Now he's fucking like
Yes.
all ears, right?
Yeah.
And I immediately let him know. What sense did you get from me right there?
This guy is like very knowledgeable, and that's the main concern he gave me. Now at least I should listen to him what he's gonna do.
Exactly, right? So now when I'm recommending other stuff in the presentation, he's already like, yeah, like this guy knows what he's doing, right? Because I addressed his most important thing out of everything. I addressed it right there on the spot. Now, if he said commission, right? Say commission. What's most important to you?
Commission.
Okay, commission. Hey, commission, right? Hey, I appreciate you being honest with me, Shri, right? It sounds like you want to make sure you make the most money, right?
Yes.
When it comes to the sale, right? You want to walk away with the most money after all the costs and fees and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, that's super important, and that's important to me. And we actually have a few different options, and I'm going to go ahead and go through that once we in the presentation. And so you'll have different options you could choose from, and we'll find the right one for you. Sound fair? Okay, let's go ahead and start the presentation. So you see how I said I addressed it, I acknowledged it, and then I deflected it, because I don't want to go to commission until I show him all the badass stuff that I could do, because then now when I'm giving him commission options, now he sees why I'm charging what I charge. If I would have just started talking, 2%, 3%, 1%, it's a losing battle. He still doesn't even know how good I am, right? So price also, same thing, price. That's a very good question. I actually prepared some data, and I'm going to get to a section in my presentation where we're going to go through the data together, and we're going to see exactly what your home could sell for. Sound fair? Okay, let's go ahead and get started, right? And then now he's all ears, and now I'm flowing through the presentation. Okay, ability to close. What was Maudi's ability to close on that one? Did he close for the signature? Do you think he showed enough value to close? What do you guys think?
I feel he showed enough value to close, and the way kind of he didn't like to push the client also.
Yeah.
He tried to close it whatever the best he can, but he knows where to stop.
Yeah.
If he knows that if he gets too pushy, he might actually shove away the client also.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel it's good. He knows how to close it.
Okay. Scale of 1 to 4, his ability to close.
I feel 4. He
4?
didn't push it too much. He actually pushed it twice, like how we discussed about
He
it,
went
but
for
he
it?
didn't push too much also.
Okay. What do you say?
I think it's a little low. I think it was 2. Borderline 2.
What do you guys at home? Anybody watching? His ability to close. Did he close for the signature? Did he go in there? Okay, Amish said 3. You said 4. You said 2. Okay. I'm gonna give you a 2, bro. I'm gonna give you a 2. And I feels this. I feel like you can get lost in the friend zone because you're being too nice, right? Versus me, like I'm gonna push and I'm gonna try to close you because I also want you to see what it's gonna be like when I'm negotiating for you,
Okay.
right? And so I think you had opportunities to take off the gloves and show them like who you really are and those things. I think you were kind of like, I think you were not trying to push because you didn't want to lose it. That's kind of what it felt like, right?
Yeah, that's what I like.
Right? Like he was letting you kind of dictate the pace. Because you said something like, I still got to meet with another agent, all that stuff, is I would have went back to what your motivation was. Hey, Shri, I could totally respect you got to meet another agent. But as you can see, I'm well prepared. I'm well equipped. I'm here right now. And you have a short timeline, right? You have 30 days. You want to get this property ready and on the market. And we got to find your other property, especially trying to navigate these 2 sales with selling and buying at the same time. Not a lot of agents can do it the way I do, right? So I can appreciate you wanting to talk to other people, but like I showed you my track record, right? So what I would say is this, let's move forward, right? Like I told you, you have a cancellation guarantee. If we start this process and you don't like it, you can cancel at any time. So you really have nothing to lose, right? So I'm here, I'm ready right now to move forward. Why don't we go ahead and just get this thing started, right? So that's where like, that's your time to like push, right?
Okay.
Here's the thing is you can't be afraid to lose someone because what's going to happen is he probably wouldn't have called you back.
The stats, guys, is 70%. If you don't get a signature on the first time and you leave, your chances of getting it drop only are 30%. So if you're losing it now, chances are, according to the stats, you're going to lose it later. So you might as well go in there and start shooting your shot as much as you can and try to increase those opportunities a little bit more on that point when you're there.
Yeah.
But just know that that's true in our stat.
And that could be uncomfortable, bro.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It will be.
Because what I just did for most people, if you haven't done it a lot, that can be uncomfortable. You're nervous about sounding too pushy or too salesy, but what do you got to lose at that point, right?
Yeah.
Because if you kind of left it up into thin air, he's going to go talk to some other agent. That agent's going to try to cut you on the commission, and then automatically, like he thinks that other agent is better. The other thing too that's important is you asked the question. You asked, well, was that other agent doing all, giving you all of these different services and stuff like that? You want to get out of services, right? Because services and commission is a losing game, right? Because anybody can say, well, I'll do it for cheaper. Oh, I'll do staging and I'll do it for 2%. I'll do staging, I'll do it for 1.5. Then it's always a loss, right? But the part where you can't lose is you get me. My ability to negotiate, my track record, my experience, right? That's something where you can't put a price on that, right? It's like saying like, hey, I'm gonna go buy a golf club, right? Well, hey, that guy's selling the golf club cheaper. Yeah, but I'm Tiger Woods. Give me the golf club and you'll see what I could do with it. How do you put a price on Tiger Woods? You don't, but you could put a price on the golf club. Hey, this one's $1,000. Well, they're selling it for 700 over there. So you see, when you're talking just about the services and commodities, that becomes a commodity, right? And so that's what I would say. I wouldn't go into, well, is he doing all of these things for the same commission? That's basically saying, is he working for cheaper, right? Instead of saying, hey, I totally understand someone else is offering that, right? But what you're not getting is you're not getting me. You're not getting the skills that I bring when it comes time to negotiate, right? For example, my Zillow showcase on average is getting people 2% more. So even though that guy's offering 2% and I'm offering 2.5%, if I get you 2% more, you just made all your money back and more, right? And so you need someone like me who's skilled to negotiate on your behalf and really push that price up. And I'm going to make you a lot more money in the end, more than that little 0.5% that you're going to save. You see what I'm saying, Shri?
Yeah.
Okay. So put your confidence in me, right? The way I'm negotiating now, that's the way I'm going to negotiate when it's time to get your price as high as possible. And that is what you want at the end of the day. You want someone that's going to be aggressive for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get the ball rolling, right? And like I said, if for some reason I don't deliver, you can cancel anytime, right? Not a problem. If at the end of this process, you're not happy and you don't think you got the best, results, I'm glad to sit down with you again and I'll discount my commission if I didn't deliver my results. I put my name on the line. Okay.
It's the concept of the magician in the middle, right? If you sell commodities, you're gonna get outpriced. You're gonna get beat all the time. So you have to sell the illusion of why you're the greatest thing and why you're worth that extra half point. And at the end, you need to fight for it. At the end, use those guarantees at the end, right? Hey, listen, whatever I don't produce, it's never been used. But if at the end of the process, if it doesn't work, I'm willing to sit down and renegotiate that number with you.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Because here's what people want, right? What people want at the end of the day is they want the best fucking negotiator, right? But they want it for the cheapest, right? Like if you were to hire a lawyer, don't you want the best lawyer out there to fight your case? But you don't want to pay for the price of the lawyer because they're expensive, right? So if you could get the best lawyer possible and get the cheapest price, like that's in theory in the people's mind what they want, right? But what you got to explain is, hey, like good things aren't cheap, right? What you're doing is you're only looking at what you're investing up front. You're not looking at what you're going to walk away with at the end. So the check that I hand you is going to be bigger than the check that the other guy hands you that charged less because he's not a good negotiator like me. Okay, now do you believe me?
Yes.
Why do you believe me?
Because the reasons what you said.
But can you feel it?
Yes. Yes.
Why can you feel it? How you can feel it? What's my voice like? What's my tonality like? What's my confidence like?
Like it's to the top, and like you sound like a person that you're gonna deliver what you're telling. Actually,
Yeah.
The confidence level is very high, and when it comes to my negotiation, also you're gonna do that.
Exactly. So right away you're like, oh sure. you're thinking, okay, 0.5%. That's not that much. If I get this guy 0.5%, I think this guy's gonna do a better job at the end of the day, right? Then like that gap starts to close, right? That gap starts to close. Okay, so we're gonna leave with this because I think there's a lot we could take from this. I want you to try that really quick, right?
Okay. Can you tell us one more time?
Okay, so he just said, right? But this is where I want you now. Like, okay, you were smooth the whole time. I now need to see the Maudi, bro, the negotiator hat, right? He said his other guy said he can do all of that, for 2%. You're charging 2.5, or you're charging 3, and the other guy said he could do it for 2.5, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna reaffirm, like, hey, I totally understand. What you're saying is what you want at the end of the day. What does he want when he asks you for a lower price? What does he really
Make
want?
as much money as possible.
He wants to make as much money as possible. So this is where you're going to take his objection and you're going to now say what you're really saying is this, right? And then tell him why it's not just about this, it's about you and what you're going to bring to the table in negotiations. Right?
Okay.
And then give him some guarantees. If I don't deliver, you can cancel anytime. And if for some reason you don't get the result at the end, I'll be glad to sit down with you and renegotiate my commission. Is that fair? And close it. Is that fair? All right, so Sri, you tell him like, hey, the other guy said he'll do it for 2.5, right? He's offering all these things, right?
Hey, like I told you, like I met another guy like who wants to do all the stuff what you're doing in the world, but for 2.5%.
For 2.5%. Okay. I can completely understand that, Sri, right? So, I mean, that is an option, right? Going with the other guy for 2.5%. But what you won't be getting is you won't be getting me. You won't be getting my expertise, right? I've shown you my track record. So you can save 0.5%, right? But that check you're going to get with the other guy is probably going to be a lot smaller, right? Right here with Zillow Showcase, I'm guaranteed to get you at least 2% more, right? So you're actually going to make that money back with me, and you're only paying 0.5% more. So the check I bring you, Sri, is going to be a lot bigger than the guy that's doing it for 2.5%. And at the end of the day, Sri, you do want to make as much money as possible on this home, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we get the ball rolling now, right? And if at the end of the day you're not happy with my services, Sri, I'm willing to sit down again and renegotiate the commissions to something that is fair for you. Is that something you're okay with?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
That sounds
let's go ahead and sign now.
Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Let's go.
I didn't know that, so now I do. So it's something I'm gonna
No, here's
practice.
the thing, right? Because you're being like nice and friendly the whole time, but you need to show him you're sharp, right? Like you need to show him like, hey, I can bite too. Like, okay, I'm cool and I'm friendly and I'm nice and we vibe, but I also have this side of me where I can bite when I need to bite. And that's really what you want, right? You want someone that could be cool, calm, collect. I'm gonna guide you, but rest assured, Sri, my job is to get you the most money. My job is to advise you. My job is to negotiate on your behalf. So when it's time to do that, I'm going to turn it on.
Okay.
Right?
Are you okay with me turning it on so I can get you more money?
Yes.
Right? Like, don't be afraid to ask questions like that. Ask him, are you afraid with me to be aggressive when it comes time to negotiate with you for your offers that come in? Ask him that.
So Shri, are you afraid?
Are you okay?
Or are you okay? They said
Are you
afraid.
okay with me
Shri,
being
are,
aggressive when it comes time to negotiate the offers that come in and get you the most money?
Shri, are you okay with me being very aggressive when it comes time to start negotiating offers on your behalf?
Right? Like, you got to say shit like that, bro. Right? Because otherwise, you were just a nice guy, right?
Mhm.
Nice guy, bro. You got that, right? Like, you got that part. I want to see the
Ability to close.
ability to close, bro. Because that's otherwise, like, you just end up, like we said, in the friend zone, right? Hey, he was a nice guy. He came in, he gave me some good info, but I don't know if I'm that confident on him taking it to the finish line.
Mhm.
And that's what you got to show them that. So you got to sprinkle that shit in. And then when they throw the objections, you got to turn that on. Right?
Got it.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, guys, let's give it up one more time for Mauri. Good job, bro. Good job, everyone, for showing up. Hopefully, you guys learned something. I want to know who's next. Next Thursday, we'll be doing this again. All right.